Hello and welcome to another landing page review. My name's Levi. And today we're talking about VPN from HQ Network. I actually don't know the name for this, so that'd be maybe the first place to start. What do I call this? I can see HQ Network up here. I see VPN, but is this the same thing? HQ VPN. Okay, I'm going to call this HQ VPN. All right. Now I lost it. All right, so we are talking, we are talking about HQ VPN today. So, VPN software. The first thing that I always try to think about when evaluating a landing page is, what story is it telling? What problem is it trying to solve? And VPN software for a long time was something that really, I think, only appealed to kind of your niche, kind of geeky people who understood the privacy risks, kind of privacy security geeks. The kind of people who worked in IT departments and would make everyone feel bad about, streaming, internet radio and all that kind of stuff. But I think more and more people today are becoming aware of the risks of just browsing the internet, especially with privacy and security. There's been enough horror stories and bad things that have happened that people are starting to worry about this. And that's clearly who this page is talking to. Who they're talking to, that person who's concerned about that, who's worried that maybe just browsing the internet, the very act of doing that, is actually more dangerous than they thought. And so let's take a look at this. The easiest way to protect yourself when you go online. Let's just think about that headline for a second. I actually think that's a pretty good headline, because let's take a look at the other competitors in this space. TorGuard. Does this look easy to you? Is this something that is friendly to, say, someone who's not a geek? This is actually a very intimidating page to me. Even the color scheme is really intimidating, I guess is maybe the best way to say it. It doesn't look user-friendly. This, on the other hand, so this is speaking to someone who's going to be intimidated by your typical kind of VPN service. I think, and as I scroll through this, there's more good content here. Block ads, malware trackers and malwares, encrypt your traffic on sketchy public Wi-Fi, secure your traffic from snooping IPs. This is all good stuff that is speaking in a way that's understandable and clear to who I believe the target customer is. I'm going to come back to this video in a minute. And here we have digital security that meets your needs. And this is where we get a really clear idea of who's in mind in this. Freelancers, travelers, families. So people who are going to like something that's easy and simple. And call to action, no complaints about this, good customer testimonial. This little bit, this enterprise grade security, seems like it was a little bit off key from the rest of the landing page, because enterprise grade security is not something, even the term enterprise is probably not going to connect with who you're talking to. Like if I went and talked to my mom, like, Mom, do you know what enterprise grade security would be? I don't think she would even really understand what the term enterprise meant. HashiCorp Vault, all this kind of stuff, it's going to go over probably your target audience's head. A term that I've always liked to use when I'm trying to think about how to talk about security to kind of more people who aren't super technically astute would be bank level security, or something that clicks in your audience's head, something that's going to connect with something real world. Because when you say something like bank level as opposed to enterprise level, a bank is a secure place. They're going to think of guards. They're going to think of security systems, locks, all that kind of stuff, safes. As opposed to something like enterprise, which is more vague term. So I think you could redo this whole section and make it much more friendly to, or make it much more directed at your audience. That's just a minor nitpick. A couple things I would say also about this is that another area of criticism is this clip art. And I see this a lot with kind of indie landing pages, is this very generic clip art. And really, I would say it reminds me of this trend about 20 years ago where every logo was a swoosh, like a Nike swoosh. It just was, it became visual noise that your brain just immediately tuned out because you'd seen it so many times and it communicated nothing. And I would say this kind of clip art that I'm seeing a lot of, kind of this SVG, very flat, simple clip art, it's something that really, it's so common, it's becoming more and more so cliche that my brain completely tunes it out. It doesn't catch my eye at all. I've just, it's another clip art. And this one specifically is so generic that it really could apply to a lot of different scenarios. I mean, this could be as easily applied to an online shopping site. It could be for a collaboration site. It could be for a design tool. I mean, there's some benefits to it. It's an individual, and you're talking to an individual. They're on a computer, and you're talking to people who are browsing the internet. But it's very generic, and it takes up a lot of space. You could really take these bullet points and put them over here, and I think that would be, or your video, because I thought this video was very good. I would take this video and put it up here, so it's much closer and higher above the fold than this clip art. It really doesn't do much. Now, there are ways that you can use images to catch someone's attention and to, give some visual interest that's going to, I think, work. I want to show Tunnel Bear, which is a competitor. So this is very similar kind of layout to the site, to these two sites. But this is a very interesting bit of clip art that immediately makes me go, "What the heck? This is weird." It's almost too weird a little bit, but it definitely catches my eye and gets me interested. And they continue with this metaphor as you go down the page. So where they're using bear as kind of your protector. This is something that's going to protect you while you're online. So it's not just a throwaway. They're going with this metaphor. I mean, this is a hilariously bizarre picture. I mean, if you just pulled this out of context, like what the heck would that be? But it works. It's weird. It's friendly in a strange sort of way. So this is saying in a way that this is not a very geeky solution. This is kind of a fun solution that I think this sort of clip art, even though it's flat, it creates enough visual interest and there's a metaphor to it that is extended throughout the rest of the page. Whereas something like this here, if you don't have good clip art, that's okay. Just focus on good content, I would say. And promote the good content that you have here higher, especially this video, which is great. If you have a video, make that much more prominent than something like that. And I think everything else, I would really try to emphasize this, the easiest way to protect yourself when you go online. Because that's a pretty valuable statement. That if you can actually do that, that's going to be really valuable. And I think people will want that because most VPN security solutions, they just look intimidating to people, the big ones especially. If you look at these things, they're just, they look like enterprise kind of software that's not friendly to just maybe, just a normal person who read an article is now concerned about what it means to be browsing online. So this here is the more friendly, the more easy you can make this appear to someone, I think the better this landing page will convert. So really, I'd say, how can you make this page even simpler and assure that person that this is going to be an easy experience? This isn't going to be something that you're going to get into and you're going to kind of fail halfway through because you just can't figure it out. Like, your hand is going to be held throughout this entire experience, and it's going to make your life easier and keep you safe when you go on. So those are just my bits of feedback. Overall, I think there's a lot of really good, there's very good content on this landing page, and with just a little bit of reworking, it could be even better. So well done. If you would like me to review your landing page and just give my candid thoughts, I'd be happy to. Follow me on Twitter at Levi and just send me a message, and I'll record a video and post it up there.